Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Asad Yaqub and I am from Lahore, Pakistan, and this time I'm going to tell you about general training writing task 1, and that is letter writing. Now, I'll not go into the basic details. You already know that you got to write a letter. The word count is 150 words. There are basically 3 types. One is formal, one is semi-formal, and one is informal. I mean, between formal and informal there is semi-formal. So there are 3 types of letters you write, and in order to write a good letter, remember one thing: they will give you the topic in detail. First they will mention a situation, and then they will tell you 3 things about that situation. Now the situation is, for example, you are traveling from one city to another city by train. That's the situation. As you read the main topic, the first line you got to start imagining, okay, I traveled by train from one city to another city, right? At the time you got out of the train, you realize that you forgot your laptop in the train, right? Now you got to be, you can write a good letter if you visualize the situation, and then you put yourself exactly, if you imagine that I lost my laptop or I forgot my laptop in the train, then you can write a good letter. It should be realistic. It should be very close to reality, not a fake letter, and it's only going to be possible when you're going to feel it, right? So for general training writing task 1, you got to feel the task first. So after that they will tell you, write a letter to the situation is explained. After explaining the situation, they will tell you, write a letter to the, and then they will tell you the person to whom you're going to write the letter, and there you're going to decide whether it's going to be a formal letter or semi-formal letter or informal letter. So write a letter to the, after that if they say write a letter to a friend, then it's a informal letter. Write a letter to your father, again informal, right? Write a letter to the bank manager, formal. Write a letter to the lost luggage claim officer, it's going to be a formal letter. So where you don't know the person, this is going to be formal, and where you know the person, for example, if you're going to write a letter to your boss, it's formal. If you're going to write a letter to your colleague about official matters, it can be semi-formal. Somewhere you will use formalities and somewhere you'll be frank. And if you don't know the person, if you don't know the name of the person, even if you don't know the gender of the person, then you will write a formal letter. To someone you don't know, to a stranger, you will write a formal letter. So when they say write a letter to, before that they will describe the situation. And when you read the situation, for just few seconds close your eyes and visualize the situation. Okay, I was traveling from one city to another and I forgot my laptop, and then your brain will give you a lot of ideas how you forgot the laptop, what happened, how you came down the train, then what did you do, now what action you want them to do, and all that stuff. So you need to write a story. Actually it's a letter, but you need to write a story, and you need to make a story, right? I can see you guys are expert in making the stories, right? Pretend, there is one thing called pretending. Now for instance, if I say, Asad, why were you absent yesterday? If you are a gentleman, then you'll say, he'll be confused, right? And if I ask him, why were you absent yesterday? Oh sir, you know what happened yesterday when I was coming here on the road, and then he's gonna trap me, and then he's gonna say, okay, I understand. So that's actually what we call story. In order to write a good letter, in the body of the letter, that's what we call body of the letter, the middle part. In the body of the letter, you got to narrate a very short story according to the topic of the letter. Whatever the topic is, we'll discuss the topics in a minute. We'll discuss the topics. So you got to read, and it's only possible if you visualize. That's why I'm focusing on visualization. For a few seconds, close your eyes, and then you can just visualize that. So the first part of the topic will tell you the situation. The next thing will tell you the formality level, and after that, the next part, there will be 3 bullet points. Write a letter to the, in your letter, and then they will give you 3 bullet points, and the body of the letter must cover these 3 bullet points. These 3 bullet points are going to be the outline of your story. Your story will revolve around these 3 bullet points, and your story will cover all these bullet points. Now for example, you stayed in a hotel, you stayed a night in a hotel, and at that time the heating system or the cooling system, if winter or summer, cooling system or heating system was not working, right? Now write, and you spent a miserable night in that hotel. Now write a letter to the hotel manager. In your letter, tell what happened. Now you'll say what happened, your situation. What did you do about what happened means your reaction to that. And what action do you want them to take? Now there are 3 bullet points. What happened? Short story. I stayed in your hotel and I was trying to sleep and suddenly AC was off. I tried to switch it on with the remote but it didn't work. And then I checked the button but it didn't work at all, and then I called the reception and they sent a person but he was unable to fix the AC. What happened? Short story, very short story. Don't make it a long one because you got only 150 words minimum. You can write 200 words but minimum word count is 150 words exactly. So you got to just narrate that. After that, what you did, you can say I immediately called the room service and I explained my problem and they sent a guy but he was unable to fix the problem and he told me this problem cannot be resolved overnight, right? And then I requested them for another room but they said the hotel is fully booked, there is no other room available, something like that. Now what action do you want them to? This is the last part. What action? I mean, you want a refund because you spent a miserable night. Either you want a refund or you want a free stay, yeah, to make up for the loss or to make up for the trouble you faced. So you want a free stay. There's gonna be another thing. Okay, so this is how you will write, and at the end you will write the conclusion and then you're gonna finish. Clear? Now let's go ahead. According to the level of formality, there are certain things which you need to take care of. If the letter is formal, this table is really helpful, right? If the letter is formal, it means it's a letter to someone you have not met, whose name you don't know. Clear? It's for someone you have not met and whose name you don't know. So you will start the letter with dear sir or madam and then comma. Dear sir or madam, even you don't know the gender of the person. Now you write dear sir and there is the madam who receives the letter. Madam will be angry, it's not a letter for me, take it away from here, right? So you will write dear sir or madam. Why? Because you are writing a formal letter. You don't know the other person, you don't know the gender of the other person, you don't know the name of the other person. That's why you're writing dear sir or madam. Have you seen yes, sir / madam. Now if sir is receiving, sir will say okay, it's for me. If madam is receiving, madam will say it's for me. Have you seen on the certificates there is a sentence written, to whom it may concern? Yes. To whom it may concern is another way of addressing, where you don't know who is going to receive the certificate. Now if you send your certificates to Australia in a university, if you send your certificates to England, to a college, whenever they receive, it's written to whom it may concern. Whoever is concerned about this certificate, it is for him. Okay, dear sir or madam, and this is what you need to learn. You will finish the letter with yours faithfully. Yours faithfully, if you're writing a formal letter. So formal letter, this is called salutation and ending, farewell. Salutation will be dear sir or madam and ending will be yours faithfully. Yes, this is what you need to cram. Just you can cram this thing. If the letter is semi-formal, to someone you may or may not have met, whose last name you know and use. Now for example, my name is Asad Yaqub. If you write a semi-formal letter to me, you'll write dear Mr. Yaqub. They use the last name, okay? And if I want to be formal, then I'll say call me Asad. Call me Asad. There are many English people. For example, somebody's name is Anthony Johns and you say dear Mr. Johns, or say Mr. Johns, say call me Anthony. Robert Browns, say call me Robert. Call me Robert means be frank with me, no problem. Right? For example, if there is a girl, her name is Julia Smith, and you say Miss Smith, you say, oh come on, call me Julia. Why are you smiling, huh? Okay. It means you can be frank with me, there is no problem, okay? So if this thing will help you when you go to Australia and all that. You smile for the right reason. Okay? Yes, exactly, don't worry. So in semi-formal letter, you will use dear Mr. Brown, comma, or dear Miss Stone, because now you know the name. Miss, there will be a dot after Miss. And ending will be yours sincerely and comma. Yours sincerely. And the last, informal, to someone you know well, whose first name you know and use. To friend, it can be to a class fellow, it can be to a family member, to a brother, sister, husband, wife, and all that. You write, dear John. And even we can start it like, hi John, hi Asad, hi Ali, hi Umar, hi Asim. With hi you can start as well, no problem, because that is informal. And ending will be best regards, warm wishes, or even you get a lot of love, or just love, lots of love, like that, okay? These are just few, you can find some more as well. Best regards, warm wishes, and then you will close the letter. Clear? So this thing is very important. You should know how to open the letter and how to close the letter according to the level of formality.